Because
Well,
what people don't understand, and this will be my last thing, is that you start with money market funds, then you go to stocks, then those stocks become collateral for some other asset, and then that asset becomes collateral for some other asset, and that's the game that they play. Rehypothecation is the fancy word for it.
yeah, I was just going to add, since we're talking about investment. So if investment instruments were created to, beat inflation, get around inflation, where people knew money wasn't what it was supposed to represent, what you're told it is, when you grow up, how does that premise is true and correct if it's not? How does Bitcoin, when it was created, how does crypto in general, like real crypto, how does it actually save people? Like, and just however you want to go with this, I just want your take on it.
Yeah, it's a good question. Because I think the first problem is that people don't realize it's a problem. Who realizes they need saving when they're working 2, 3 jobs and they're being told day after day that's American, that's the American way of life? I mean, you got to realize some people take pride in that level of stupidity. What sense does that make that you spend no time with your family, work multiple jobs just to survive? But that's something to be proud of. That fact that your skill set is so undervalued in the marketplace that you must occupy 2 places of employment. Like that's insane. One is already taking 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, right? 8 hours a day, 5 days a week at a minimum. Never mind commuting. Let's just talk about the sit down time, right? Let's not talk about all the incidentals and all the extra. Let's just talk about the bare basics. You don't even have time to spend. Now, how many hours do we have in a day? We might have, we have 24 hours in a day. You might sleep for 6 to 8 hours, the average person, right? That leaves you with 16 hours. If you get a full 8 hours of sleep, or a full 8 hours of just, settle in and gather yourself from doing everything else. Because we go outside, we do this, we do that, we run errands, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So, when do we stop to realize that something is wrong when we have to do all these things all day, every day? I mean, you got to realize they try to keep you fucking busy for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I got out of college and I used to like try to figure out how could I get into a Goldman Sachs or, all these fancy names that you hear. Doing the big thing, the front office and all this fancy shit that that's essentially dramatized, right? It's fantasized almost. I mean, it's like, I mean, they put this crap in movies, Wolf of Wall Street, Wall Street itself back in the day, right? I mean, trading places is significantly more significant, as stupid as that sounds. It's more of a real movie for an average Joe that is trying to understand something than Wall Street could ever be. But yet Wall Street is more prominent amongst those of us that dabble in that arena, right? But yet the movie of all time is really The Big Short, because it gives the common man an avenue into understanding the crap that they pull, because it puts it in plain English, and it's like I said a little while ago, it's all a bunch of side bets. Because you start with the money market fund, and the money market fund is backing the stocks, and the stocks is backing the bonds, and the bonds are backing something else, and something else is backing something else, and so on and so forth. This is what happened in 2008. But in 2008, it was like a freaking virus, okay? It was a virus that was so bad that people that couldn't read, didn't know what they were signing, had multiple homes. Their total net worth was in the millions, but yet the liquid net worth was zero, meaning they had no cash, no actual liquidity. Like they couldn't buy a house, they couldn't buy a car, but yet they had 5 homes, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that scene was incredible when they go and talk to the guys at the firm who were giving all the loans,
mortgage
to
brokers. The
yeah.
mortgage brokers, yeah.
Yeah, that scene was just
Epic.
it's crazy.
It was epic. And then it was even better because they followed up. Right? I mean, they went to the strip joint, talked to the chick, and she broke it down. Broke it down. Right? Now, that's just one aspect. I'm giving you the real world aspect of what I saw as I lived it at that time, hearing adults talk about it, because I was in college. I was fresh out the military. I was trying to get my feet back planted on this side of the world, on top of all of that. I mean, the world was so crazy different from when I left it that, I mean, wow, I just couldn't believe that we had gone so far left. And what's crazy is that we haven't stopped. Right? So when do you figure out that crypto is supposed to save you? I mean, it's on you. There's nobody that's going to tell you, hey, you need to pay attention to what's going on. Because even the people that do, they get ignored.
I don't have time. I'm going to work.
I got better things to do, like fuck off. Who cares? My life is all right. I got dollars in the bank. Yet those dollars aren't even yours, because it's not even dollars in Federal Reserve notes, because you can't read.
You got digits in the bank. There you go. Correction.
If that, you really don't have digits in the bank. You got zeros and ones. You got binary code in the bank, really. And they can shut that shit off with the press of a button. It happens all the time. Trust me, I see it. Every day I work, I see it. All that has to happen is an email got to come in. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah.
No, people don't really know. I'm letting you know now. An email. I mean, it's your name just got to pop up in an email. Red flag. Done. That's it. It's just that simple, man. Right? So when it's not your money, it's not your system. Now, what is it going to take for everybody to figure that out? Well, I think we're going to see here shortly what it's going to take. Honestly, that's what I personally think. That's my personal opinion. Because at this point in time, you got an amazing energy glut. However, the prices don't reflect that.
Yeah.
Not the prices that we pay. Never mind the actual tradable market, futures and whatnot in the cash market. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about you, the average viewer, the average person that doesn't dabble in these markets that I'm talking about. That regular, unleaded, supreme, silver, whatever you want to call it, all that, guess what? It's still not anything, right? Because what are you still paying? The prices that people were paying weeks ago when the prices were much higher. However, here we sit with prices at 10% below where they just were. And it's like nothing's happening. not in the retail market. Not in the retail market. So you got to ask yourself why. And that's ultimately a function of what people are not understanding with regards to the fact that they don't actually have money. They got currency, fiat units of account. That's the underlying problem, period.
It's good. You could say, yeah, you don't have money, you have currency. That's actually means something. Yeah.
Yeah, you got monopoly money. That's really that.
Great game.
Yeah, it's really that simple. Now, give me a second, brother. I gotta go. I'll be right back. Give me like 1 minute.
No worries. No worries. Als, I will ask Wells. We'll throw this up in a second. Just while we're on the topic, before we move on. Such a breadth of knowledge. It's hard to see where to zoom in and out. But I got a couple topics to jump into too. Yeah, share on Twitter. Tag us on Twitter. Drop the stream on Twitter if you like, and put in Telegrams as well. All the appropriate channels. Please don't spam people, but yeah, I think they'll enjoy talking about the depths of finance here and the bear market. Please share it out. Just scrolling through chat for a minute. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat, and I will try to. Well, can't promise I'm going to post them all today because I don't know how long we're going to go. Probably another 30 minutes or so. So if you got questions, throw them in. I know it's hard to have questions listening to Wells because you're soaking it in. Let's see. Wick 8. Appreciate it, man. My two buddies together really started breaking my mind. It's enough for that. Yeah, actually, I'm kidding.
Sorry about that, brother.
Yeah.
Had to hit the kitchen real quick. So how does crypto save us? People need to stop thinking in dollar terms. That's the first thing I see from that comment.
How can they trust in crypto? So much negativity and centralized. Are people who are disappointed in crypto? Are they just buying the wrong stuff? Are they using the wrong products?
Yeah, they're not using crypto. So this frame of thought that we have is the first thing that has to get fixed, because the person that's writing this right now is conflating real crypto with fake crypto.
Right.
Centralized exchanges don't have crypto. When are we going to learn this?
They don't have it anymore because they lost it all. But
well, did they ever really have it? I mean, if you really could keep your funds there, you could say, sure, they have it. But no, they don't have it. That's exactly why you can't keep your funds there. It's a simple math problem. There's nothing more to it than that. What you have there means nothing. It's the fact that you have it there that makes you an idiot. Their objective is to merely take what you do, take from what you do on the platform. That's it.
Well, to steel man the centralized crypto services, I guess you could say they are helping the people who don't know how to, new technology, don't know how to do all this stuff. They help them get money into the system.
Are they helping?
Help's the interesting word.
Yeah,
they're giving them access to.
So let's pause right there. Let's pause right there because we sometimes think things that aren't true, and that's one of them.
Okay.
Since when does a bank help you? Never.
How would we buy Hex without going through a centralized service?
Do you understand your rights as a human being? That's a yes or no question.
I hesitate with my yes and no with you because I know there's some deeper meaning on it.
No, it's very straightforward. If you're using a bank, in most cases, they're gonna question what you're doing with your funds in their bank account. So you're not using your money in the first place. And this is the thing that most people fail to understand. Everyone doesn't have money. You got what they want you to use in your bank account. What you consider a bank account, which isn't even a bank account, is their account. You do not have access to your wealth. They have it. They control your wealth. You do not control your wealth. This is what crypto changes. Why do you think they're so vested in all of the sudden, right on time, crypto regulation? After the guy that they should have been looking at, that they weren't looking at, falls apart, they're going to use him as a reasoning to invoke fugazi stuff on things that they can't invoke anything on because they don't even understand what they're doing. Right? So it's this whole clear line of thought that needs to be had. Like, if you're trying to get into crypto and you don't understand the difference between real crypto and fake crypto, then that's your fault. Because what does the Bitcoin white paper say? It's literally the first line. So the fact that we're cash. Well, no. Without going through a financial institution, that's the crucial part. The rest of it is irrelevant. We've been had peer-to-peer cash. That's not new.
Without intermediary, yep. That's right.
That's at least 60 years old at this point. Peer-to-peer cash. That's not new. So let's get away from this thought that peer-to-peer cash is something. No. It's the centralized nexus of the equation. That's always been the concern and the issue.